Hey everyone, you may hear the sound background from the scrolling photos. The court case will continue momentarily, but I want to just give you a little visual for you regarding this case. Let me just mute that puppy. So this is the map. Let me go full screen for you. If it'll allow me. Nope. There it is. Okay, so this is a key locations for the disappearance of Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner Skelton. Excuse me. You have the Morenci Southwest, which is where the school was located, and you can see the distance from their home. In the middle section, and the highlight there, it's Adrian Northeast, which is the Congress Street home all the way to county courthouse in Lenawee County. And it just gives you a distance of where they're at and where things may have occurred, right? So the home on the left is, I believe, where John resided before he went to prison for the last over a decade for other convictions. But it gives you a little visual about how across the county they have to go to the courthouse every day. Okay. Also, it just gives you a little idea of the area of Morenci in Michigan. And I did notice that they're on Congress Street. Well, I lived on Congress Street also in Michigan, but I was downtown Detroit, Congress Street, which is the main street. If you look it up, that'll be the one that pops up the most. But there is one in Morenci and maybe other parts of the state. I just didn't look them up. And I didn't look up in Arizona either. I'm going to do that while they're streaming the next case part. So I wanted to give you that little tidbit of information this afternoon. It may be short from what the judge said earlier today, as well as the description before they broke for lunch. So hopefully we'll get some forensic evidence entered. I'm looking forward to that the most. I want to see what they have and see how they describe it and how the defense tackles it, right? So it ought to be good, interesting information, at least from my perspective. So with that said, I'm going to let it roll. Make sure that I have the screen share going. Oh, I stopped it because I didn't see it on my screen. There we go. Now that should pop up for us. And there it is. This is just the scrolling photos from yesterday's witnesses and other pictures of the boys, they're so sweet looking. It's hard to believe that anything bad could happen to them, especially all three of them being brothers. And so the case will start up momentarily. It's past time. Where's my clock? There it is. So we're about 5 minutes late from what I understood, 1:15 start time. So with that said, I'm going to let it play. You can listen to some music and it'll start momentarily. If they start, we'll jump right over there, okay? So I will launch that once it starts. Excuse me. So just to recap, day one, we heard deeply emotional testimonies from the boy's mother, Tanya Zuvers, who used to be John Skelton's second wife, I believe, second wife, because they talked about a first wife earlier. But anyway, they were divorced and they were walking us through the terrible Thanksgiving custody exchange. She did that, and the immediate panic when the boys weren't brought back. A lot of discussion around that, the emotions. We also heard from their former pastor, Donna Galloway, who's now retired, who recalled some chilling things Skelton said in the hospital about sending the boys home, which from a pastor's perspective and the way that she presented it, that he said, you of all people should know I sent the boys home. So it's really an interesting, it can be considered a confession of sorts, but once again, without any bodies, it's very difficult to pinpoint. And the prosecution has the challenge because they do have a no body, hard to place murder charges on anyone, right? In the state of Michigan. Excuse me. So keep that phrase, sending the boys home. On day two, which was yesterday, the testimony shifted to Skelton's former employer, who talked about strange requests for Florida work runs and Skelton suddenly asking to be fired. And they talked about he assumed maybe it would be for unemployment reasons. We don't know. But it kind of falls in that line when you think about it, or if you've ever had experience or watched any YouTube channels on unemployment benefits and those that take advantage of it, including the long 2011 police interview where Skelton spun this wild story about handing the boys over to some underground network or organization or safe haven, something. He called Joanne Taylor, was the contact person. He went into in-depth about her, talked about cell phones, secrecy, codes that they had to use. And it was a completely bizarre secret code story. Anyway, so they're going to debunk that hopefully today, if not tomorrow. We also heard during the morning session, the prosecution is expected to keep rolling out witnesses, which they've done. We've had several family members and friends yesterday and today, and I'm waiting for forensic evidence to be produced. Let's see what's going on. Hey, I'm with Doug. How you doing there? Whoa. This is the John Skelton case from 2010, where his boys went missing when he did not return them to his divorced wife due to their agreement. Putting it in the comments also for you. Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner. And you can see their photo. Well, you will see their photo on my thumbnail. And they vanished from Morenci, Michigan. And they are currently, 15 years later, finally prosecuting this father, John Skelton, for the M's of the three boys. Now, he's never admitted to it. He says he gave them to a safe haven group until they graduate. That's where they're supposed to protect them for. And also that he has spun this wild story in the police interview that was aired yesterday afternoon. So it's part of yesterday's afternoon stream on my channel. And they wanted to take time today to debunk that by bringing in witnesses as well as other evidence that they're going to produce. Again, this is an evidentiary hearing to the judge, and she makes the decision once this is completed. I don't know if it's going to take up to 3 days or 5 days, but I believe the assumption was a couple days to get through the whole list of witnesses and evidence, producing evidence. And then she makes her final decision regarding bonding over the case for trial. Okay. Again, in Michigan, if they don't have a body to have an autopsy done, it's a challenge for them to charge anyone with the deceased or the unaliving of anyone. The story behind it all is that he had them last. He hurt his ankle. We don't know what the story was. He was acting sad and depressed. He was not doing well in life. He had a foreclosure up and coming on the family home that he resided in. Don't know what the pressure and stresses were regarding the three boys. But as you see the photos, they're just sweet little boys. Let me pop that up there for you again. Just sweet little boys. That is Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner. Not in order, but that's what they look like at the time. And the wife has some criminal history, understood, but at the same time, they were last seen or understood to be with John, who said he passed it over to Joanne, someone he met, as well as someone else he met, I think, at a truck stop that described what this underground organization is like. But he can't provide anything else. This is, oh, sorry, pop that back up. This is the layout, that map of the area on the left is where the family home is on Congress Street in Morenci, Michigan, reaching to the Morenci school. So it's not that far. But in the middle, you can see from Morenci, they have to drive cross county to Adrian, where the courthouse is, the Lenawee County Courthouse. So this is Michigan, state of Michigan, the Lenawee County. Okay. So they're hearing the case. It's evidentiary today. Ongoing, I should say. And we're hoping they'll get started momentarily for the third day, day 3, part 2 for the afternoon session. Things can change. Now, I waited to the time that they said they were going to start up again at 1:15 p.m. East Coast. I started streaming a few minutes after that, and now we're just waiting for the actual case to get starting again. Anyway, so we have that. I gave you the recaps, and today we're hoping to see some forensics evidence, witnesses, things along those lines. Not a lot of questions being asked of the current witnesses that have been on the stand today, just getting them up there, saying what they know, and then moving on, right? Because they may not know a lot, but they do want to have that information in their back pocket when they start their closing arguments. They can refer to things like that. So, brought you up to speed. In the YT description, I've included the official missing persons resources and national and international. So in case you come across anyone that's gone missing or you find out is missing, you have these organizations, contact phone numbers and such, or you can look them up on the internet. Also, where it's emergent or reporting contacts, you always have 911 available to you here in the United States. We have immediate danger is obviously 911, federal U.S. cases, missing children, U.S. citizens abroad. So we're trying to get a big net on trying to find people that are missing. And that's part of my other series I'm maintaining and dropping video every other day. So I want you to be cognizant of that, because there's a lot of tattoos and piercings and other descriptions about the person back then that could be prevalent today. All I ask is that you share your information tip, big or small, with law enforcement, because any share could bring someone home. And if it was your family, I think you'd want the same, a full country watching over everybody to see if they come across these people. And I do feel bad for them, especially the person, as well as the family and friends that are waiting for answers. That's all they're doing, is waiting for answers. So they have not started yet. And I am looking at my notes to see what else I can share with you. So I'm trying to keep it lively so you're not just staring at the screen, but we might have to go back to that. I do want to put this question out there. Do you think that prosecution has enough circumstantial evidence to secure a M conviction without physical remains? And that's one of I've seen several interviews online between a defense attorney in Michigan and an ex-prosecutor in in Michigan discussing it, debating it, whatever you want to call it. But they were finally um, received death certificates. So that was a document that they can use to say they're no longer alive. And now we can move forward with charges. And keep in mind, John Skelton has been in prison for a better part of over 10 years since this occurred. So as he was ready to get released on those charges, which are separate from this, he was brought up on new charges regarding this case. And let me just double check what they were because I have them. Yeah, the initial conviction, Skelton pled to no contest in 2011 to 3 counts of unlawful imprisonment, serving a 10 to 15-year prison sentence. That's 2011. And let me keep scrolling so I can find it. It is Judge Laura Shader, Her Honor Laura Judge Shadler is over watching this case, overseeing this case. God, I can't slip my tongue everywhere. So the current charges John is facing are 3 counts of open M and 3 counts of felony tampering with evidence, bringing an entirely new phase of accountability as he faces potential life imprisonment. So at least they had him behind bars over the last 10, 15 years. So if allegedly unalived his boys, he couldn't do it to anybody else, right? So today again is an evidentiary hearing. It started on Monday. Today is Wednesday, and I would assume it's going till Thursday because I heard Judge Shadler that they were going to end early this afternoon, and that's why I don't know if they're actually going to come back from lunch or if it's over. But it's still showing on the screen, so I believe it's still going on. Anyway, let me let you check out the YT description. Also, I've been posting, so I've got all the postings out there on YouTube for the shorts and on X. Next challenge is Instagram. I'll get them posted out there soon enough, but I will let you watch the screen and be able to see if there's anything that is needed or update. Okay. So do this and do this and this. I know, remove first. There we go. And here comes the music. Maybe no music because they're almost ready to convene or reconvene, I should say. So let's see if that happens. I'm going to go on mute and I'll do some more research on what I'm looking into. We are back in session now.
I do.
Mr. O'Brien, please give me your full name and spell both first and last.
Brian O'Brien, BRIAN OBRIEN.
Mr. O'Brien, this is being audio recorded, not video recorded. So it's very important that you use your voice to answer, because if you nod your head or shrug your shoulders, or even say, it's really hard to know what you're saying and what your intent is. So yes or no would be really helpful. And we'll try and remind you of it. All right?
Okay.
Mr. Harrison?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. O'Brien, do you know John Skelton?
I do.
How long have you known him for, approximately?
Basically my whole life.
Okay. And what is your relationship with him?
Cousins.
Okay. So you live in the, is it White Pine
White Pine.
Highway or road area?
Yes.
And back in 2010, who was all living in this area?
John, Tanya, the boys, mom, dad, aunt, and uncle.
Was Tanya living on the White Pine Road?
Oh,
area?
no. Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's-
No,
let's-
just my family.
Okay. And by your family, you mean yourself, your mom, your dad?
Yes.
What are their names?
Richard and Charlene.
And you live right next to each other?
Yes.
And who lived across the street?
My aunt Lisa and Uncle Tim.
Okay. So, was anybody else living at your residence in 2010 in November besides yourself?
No.
Was Renee there part of the time?
She was there a couple days a week.
Okay. Renee was your what in 2010?
Girlfriend.
Okay. And you subsequently got married.
Yes.
What year?
December of 2010.
For the purpose of the record, he's in deep trouble.
Sorry.
From the gallery, his wife has responded, and unfortunately, I couldn't hear that, Mr. Hartman.
Renee?
What's that?
What date was it?
December of 2010, December 31st.
There you go.
New Year's Eve wedding. New Year's Eve wedding? Do you recall that? Or I guess we can understand why you wouldn't recall that now, New Year's Eve, right?
We got married down in Florida on the beach.
Okay. All right.
I think you remember the day, just not the year.
Yes.
Good answer, right?
Yes.
Back in 2010. Was there a period of time that prior to that John lived at your residence?
Yes.
Prior to 2010.
Yes, when he first moved back from Alaska, him and his daughter Katie lived with me for a short period of time till he got on his feet.
Okay. And by a short period of time, you're meaning how long?
Couple months.
Okay. And did you make that trip with everyone to Alaska?
I did not.
Okay. So when they came back, they brought you a roommate.
Yes.
Okay. And did they bring Katie back at that time too, or did she come separately?
Separately.
Okay. You remember how much after Mr. Skelton, John Skelton arrived and started to live at your house that Katie arrived?
I do not remember.
Okay. Now, prior to that, when he started living there, what were we talking about? Approximately what year? 2000-ish?
I believe so.
That sound about right?
About right.
Were you and he close?
I hadn't seen him in a lot of years prior to that. So no.
Okay. You knew him when you were both children?
On and off,
Okay. And how old are you now?
46.
As time went on and John's divorce with Michelle was completed, he came to know Tanya, is that correct?
Yes.
And did you know Tanya before that?
I mean, I'd known of her just because we lived in a small town in Morenci, but as far as just, I didn't know her personally.
So you didn't introduce him or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So when they started to go out and date together, did they on occasion come to your home?
Not my home specifically, but my parents' home next door.
Right next door.
Yes.
Okay. How often would you see them on socially in that regards?
Maybe once a month.
Okay. Did you ever go anywhere else with them?
No.
Okay. As their children were born, did they come out to that area more often or less often?
Maybe more often.
You had some children,
Yes.
and at some point in time, they were spending time at your home as well, right?
Yes.
And Renee had a child or two?
Yes.
Okay. Would it be a situation where Andrew and Alexander and Tanner would play with some of the other kids that were yours or Renee's?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. What would they do?
We live on an orchard out there, so they're just outside playing.
Okay. So you live a little west of Morenci, is that correct?
Yes.
And tell us about this land, this area that you live in.
River bottom, a lot of woods, small creek,
Okay.
goes for miles.
The land that your home is on, do you own that or does your mom own that?
Me and my mom together own it now.
Okay, you own it together now?
Yes.
And the property next to you is her property?
Yes.
Or do you own part of that
Well,
too?
I own part of it together.
Okay. And
Like
house across?
almost 5 acres.
Okay. Around 5 acres between the two parcels?
Yes.
Okay. How about across the street where Aunt Lisa lives? She still owns that property today?
She rents it.
Oh, she rents that property. Do you know who the owner is?
Pummels,
What do you know about that land?
that it's been across the road from me for 20 some years.
Is it similar in nature to the property you're describing where
Yes.
you live?
Yes.
And beyond that area, beyond the 5 acres that you and your mom own together, what is the land past that, adjacent to your area?
That river bottom runs for miles, just woods, both sides, creek bottoms, swamps.
A lot of trees, shrubbery growth in that area?
Yes.
After John moved out of your residence back in the day, I guess is the way to put it, perhaps, do you know where he moved to?
I do not.
Okay. Between the time that prior to the November 2010 incident, moving back from Thanksgiving, when was the last time you would have actually spoken to him? Moving backwards from that.
I don't remember. It would have been a while before that.
Okay. Months, years?
Months.
So it would have been sometime in 2010.
Yeah.
Do you know why you got together and talked to him on that day? Or was it just random?
Just random.
Where was it at, if you recall?
I believe at my parents' house.
Okay. Do you remember if he was there alone or with others?
Usually he always had the boys when he was around.
Okay.
Very, very seldom did he come over alone.
At some point in time, did you, in that summer or fall, did you come to be aware that he was having marital issues?
I did not.
You did not know. that correct?
That's correct.
He never told you?
No,
So as we get towards Thanksgiving of 2010, you're not aware that they're going through a divorce?
no,
Okay. Did you ever speak to Tanya during that stretch of time from, say, September to the Thanksgiving?
no, I didn't.
Okay. What was the last time prior to Thanksgiving, working backwards, that you would have had an opportunity to speak to Tanya?
I believe last time that I talked to Tanya, I think John and Tanya was still together, and they stopped out to my place for a short time. I lived out on Seneca Highway, and they stopped over I think just to visit for a very short time.
So that during that stretch of time, you weren't living at the other residence?
For a short time, I moved over there because I bought a new trailer. I hadn't had it moved in yet, so I rented from Roger Wolf on Seneca Highway for a very short time.
Okay. And that would have been in 2010 or 2009,
I'm not sure of the year. I don't remember.
but that's the last time you recall speaking to Tanya?
Yeah,
Okay. Did you ever do anything with John, like fishing, hunting, bowling, anything, any activities at all?
never.
So when did you first become aware that the boys were missing?
I can't really remember that either, other than the morning when I found the bag in my porch,
Okay, the bag that Renee ran into?
the Army duffel bag. Yes,
Okay. Were you home on that occasion?
yes.
Do you recall what time it was that she alerted you to this?
I believe she went to work at like 2:30, maybe 3 in the morning, somewhere along them lines, because she worked a weird shift. And she come and woke me up that she had found a bag on the porch.
Okay. And what did you do then?
I opened it up, had the boys' coats and toothbrushes, and I called my mom and dad, and then it's either Chief Weeks or Don Thompson we got a hold of, and he come and got it.
Did you identify the items in there as belonging to Andrew and Alexander and Tanner? Or did you just speculate to that?
Just speculated.
Okay. So you turned those items over to your mom and dad?
No, I had called them to let them know what I had found on the porch.
Right. And then what happened to the duffel bag with the coats and the toothbrushes in them?
We called the cops.
Okay. Did she take care of that or did you do that?
I believe my mom called the cops.
So you're talking about Charlene?
Charlotte,
O'Brien.
yes.
Okay. And did you have anything further to do with that bag after that point in time?
No,
So as you became aware that the boys were missing, were there searches being put together to look for them?
absolutely. Yes,
Were you involved in that?
yes.
Tell us of your involvement in those searches.
We searched for miles around the Morenci area, all the river bottom area around my house, behind my house, across the road from my house, over by State Line Farms. We searched for days.
And you were directly involved?
I wasn't a director of it by no means, but I'm a local guy that's coon hunted and hunted every woods, might as well say, in southern Lenawee County. So I did my part by helping it the best I could.
And you were very familiar with some of that topography, that's some of the land.
Absolutely.
Okay. And for how many days did you participate yourself? How many separate days?
Too many to count.
Hours at a time?
Absolutely.
And as you were doing these searches, how many other people would be involved in these searches with you?
There was times we had 30, 40, 50 people.
devoting their hours to look for Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner.
Yes.
You said the area around your home, your mom's and Aunt Lisa's, and the river bottom further away from there.
Yes.
You mentioned the area around State Line Farms,
Yes.
and the State Line Farms is a large farm. You're talking about the area in the Morenci area of State Line Farms or elsewhere?
State Line Farms right off of 156.
Okay. Other areas besides that you searched?
We were around Pioneer. Man, all over, like basically from Morenci to Pioneer.
Different spots along the way?
Yes.
So you're not only in Michigan, you're in Ohio.
Yes.
Did you ever find anything that was considered worthwhile as a clue or anything at all?
Nothing.
When were those searches called off eventually, if you recall?
I don't recall.
Was it a good week or two later?
It was definitely later. There was people that even showed up months later and still had their own little searches going.
Okay. Did you participate in any of those?
I did not at that time.
Okay. If you know, I'll strike that. So between the end of the searches, following the searches for you ending anyway, did at some point in time you have a chance to talk directly with Mr. Skelton?
I went down to Lucas County Jail to try to talk to him to see if I could get any kind of information to find out where the boys is at. Figuring since I was family that he would have something to say, but it was a big no.
Did he, how was that set up for you to go down there? Do you recall?
I don't recall.
And when you met with Mr. Skelton at the Lucas County Jail, how did you meet him? Did you sit across from a table? Were you on the phone with him? Closed circuit TV? How was it done?
Across from the table.
So you were very close to him?
Yes.
Okay. And what, if anything, did he say about where the boys were?
That he gave them away and he didn't remember to who.
You didn't remember who he gave them to,
No.
but he gave them away.
Yeah.
Did he say why he gave them away to you?
No.
Did you talk about anything else that you can recall?
No, I just tried to get any kind of information that I could get to help find the boys.
Did he indicate at all where he thought they might be?
Not that I remember.
And this, when he was at the Lucas County Jail, we're talking early December of 2010. Does that sound accurate?
I believe so.
Was this, are you sure this was after the searches had ended?
No, I think this might have been before. It would have been right about the time frame right after he tried to hang himself.
Okay, so were the searches for the boys still going on in the community then? If you recall?
I don't think the searchers ever stopped being.
Well, I mean the major searches that you participated in.
I don't recall.
Do you recall whether or not you told Mr. Skelton that you'd been searching for his boys?
I did not.
No further questions. Now, Mr. Amadeo may have a few questions for you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Do you remember the day the duffel bag was left at your house? The date?
I do not remember the.
Do you remember what time of day it was?
2:30, 3 in the morning, I do believe.
Okay. Now, did you immediately search the duffel bag?
I don't recall if I searched it at 3 in the morning or not.
But you did eventually search it, correct?
Well, I wouldn't say search it. I opened it up.
Okay. What did you see when you opened it up?
3 little kids' coats
Okay.
and 3 toothbrushes.
Is there blood or any damage to the clothing?
I never took them out.
And you called the police immediately?
Yes.
Okay. Did the police interview you?
No.
Have the police ever interviewed you?
Yes.
What was the contents of those interviews? Do you remember? And do you remember when they occurred?
I don't remember exact date.
Okay. What did you guys talk about when the police interviewed you? What did they ask you? Do you remember that?
Well, if I knew anything about where the boys could be, or that's about it.
Did the police give you their insight about things, or did they simply ask you questions?
They never gave me their insight.
Okay. Now, before you went to go meet John at the jail, did you meet with the police prior to that?
I believe the police or the investigators, the one that worked with me to go down to see if I could talk to John to try to get some whereabouts of what happened to the boys or where the boys was at. Or
Okay. So I want to be really clear on this. Before you went to the jail, did the investigators ask you to do so? Did they coordinate the trip for you?
I believe so.
Okay. So in essence, you were working for the police to try to get information, correct?
No, I was working for the boys,
At the request of the police.
per request of our family.
Did your family all believe that John was guilty?
Your Honor, object to the question as an inappropriate question at this stage.
Well, he said he was at the request of the family. I think it's a fair question. Sure. Did your family want you to gather information from John?
Well, absolutely.
And did your family believe that John was behind this?
He's the last one that had the boys. So yes.
Did he ever confess to hurting his boys?
No.
Did you see him with his boys regularly?
When I seen John, he had his boys.
And do you have children yourself?
Between me and the wife, we have 10.
Okay. So you know a lot about parenting, correct?
Yeah.
Did John appear to love his children?
Yeah.
Did you ever see him abuse his children?
No.
Did you ever see him do anything off color with his children?
No.
Did he appear like a loving father?
I'd say yes.
How did you see him interact with Tanya, his wife?
Yes.
What were those interactions like? How would you describe them?
I thought they seemed like any other normal couple when they were together.
Did he appear to love Tanya?
Yeah.
Now, you were familiar with the area you were searching, correct?
Yes.
And what do you say? How many people do you think were searching? Did you say up to 50 possibly at one time?
Yeah.
How long did those searches occur, if you know? When did they start and finish, to the best of your knowledge? I know you said they were really stopped. When were the heavy searches occurring, if you remember?
As soon as everybody figured out that the boys were missing.
And did the people that were searching have similar knowledge to you of the area? Did they know the area well?
A lot of them did. Some people had no idea.
Did you find anything on those searches that would lead to my client being guilty of a crime?
No.
Any important evidence that was provided to the police during any of those searches?
No.
Nothing further this time. Thank you.
Who drove you to the Lucas County Jail?
Jennifer, at the time, would have been O'Brien.
And who is she to you?
Well, she was married to my cousin.
Back in 2010.
Yes.
Okay. When I asked you questions earlier, you believed that your mom called the police about the duffel bag, but when Mr. Amadale asked you the question, you indicated that you called the police. Were you referring to like as you as in your family, or did?
As family.
So do you believe your mom called the police or dad?
It would have been my mom if.
Okay. So Mr. Amadeo asked you if these searches revealed any information that might link Mr. Skelton to any crime against his children. You recall that question?
Yes.
The items that you recovered on the porch were 3 young boys' coats and 3 toothbrushes, right?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
In that duffel bag, sir, was there also a pair of black overalls that was for an adult?
Not sure.
Thank you. Nothing further.
I think you'd be excused.
Yes.
No objection.
You may step down, you may leave the building, or you may stay.
If people would call Charlene O'Brien.
Mr. Bryan, if you come right up here to the witness box. Please raise your right hand. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Please be seated, Ms. O'Brien. We tell you that this is being audio recorded, but not video recorded, so we won't be able to see you in the court's document. But we'll be able to hear your answers as long as you speak them.
Well, I got a big mouth, so you'll probably hear me.
Okay. For example, if you shake your head, you're not gonna have an answer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you to be really careful, if you can be, about answering verbally, yes or no,
Okay.
all right?
Yep.
And that does not increase the volume of your voice, so you're gonna have to speak nice and loud.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please give your full name for the record, spelling both.
Charlene O'Brien, Charlene O'Brien, Obrien.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You may inquire.
Believe it or not, Miss O'Brien, I can hardly hear you, and I know it's because I got air blasting from the
Okay.
side. Someone
I'll
asked
try
me
to
to
be
talk.
louder.
Thank you.
Okay.
We just heard a lot of testimony about the O'Brien clan, for lack of a better term, living out on White Pine Highway out there in Morenci. And would you be a member of that? group
Yeah, I
living
own
out there?
property.
Okay, you own property out there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and your son is Brian O'Brien, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. In 2010, who was living in your home with you?
My husband, he's passed.
I'm sorry to hear that. Prior to 2010, well, strike that. Did you know John Skelton?
Yes.
How did you know John Skelton?
Family, my husband.
So he was related on your husband's side.
Yes.
And would your husband have been related to John's mom?
Sister.
That would be his sister.
Yes.
All right. How long had you known John prior to 2010?
Years. I didn't see him a lot, but I knew him for years.
And did you know Tanya?
Yes, I did.
And did you know Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner?
I sure did. They're awesome boys.
How often would you see John and the boys?
Oh, they would come out and we'd have a cookout on the weekends. Not every weekend, but a lot of weekends. The boys would come out and play. And my husband would take them on the four-wheeler and they'd romp around the yard and have fun. Yeah.
Anytime that John came out, did he have the boys with him?
And Tanya, yes.
And Tanya, okay. Was there a point in time that it was just John and the boys, or just John coming to visit without Tanya?
No, I don't remember ever Tanya not being there.
Do you remember a time when John discussed some marital problems he was having with Tanya?
Absolutely, right at my kitchen table.
Do you recall when that began?
It was like a week before Thanksgiving, somewhere in that time frame.
A week before
I
Thanksgiving
believe so, yeah,
in 2010?
yes.
And this is the first time you're hearing from John that there's some problems in his marriage?
Yeah,
And tell me about that conversation.
well, he came to the house and my husband and I were sitting at the table and he said, I need to talk to you guys. So we said, what do you need to talk about? And he's like, I don't know what to do. And he's rambling on about Tanya this and Tanya that. Well, she messing with their kid, which we didn't believe it. Still don't. And I said, then do the right thing and call the authority. He goes, oh, I already talked to Chief Weeks and he ain't doing nothing about it. I said, well, that's not true because when my granddaughters needed help from what happened to them, Chief Weeks and the Lenawee sheriff, and they were all out there. My house within 10 minutes. So I knew that was a lie.
Did you tell him that you knew that he wasn't being truthful?
Absolutely.
What'd you tell him to do then?
Tell the truth. What's going on? You know? And he said, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. And we said, don't do that. And he says, well, I'm gonna. And then he got mad at us and out the door he went. And then I guess a week later is when I got a phone call from Chief Weeks asking if the boys was there. And I said, what boys? He goes, the Skelton boys. I said, no, I ain't seen them for a while. I go, why? He said, they're missing. I said, oh my God. Yeah.
Prior to that conversation, you said it was at your dining room table. Is that was
Yes.
prior to that conversation at your dining room table? When was the last time that you saw the boys?
It was before that. I never seen him again after that.
Okay. Do you know
It was,
approximately?
I don't know, probably weeks, way before that happened.
You think
Maybe months before I seen the boys. I mean, I'm not sure.
so? You're sitting at the table having this conversation. Do you recall who was all at the table?
My husband, myself, and John.
Anybody else?
Nope. And he'd already said he quit his job, and we said that was stupid because it was.
Did he tell you of any intent to leave the state of Michigan?
Nope. Because he knew we were not happy when he took out the first time with the kids. So
During
we were
this,
the last ones to know about that.
during the time that he's having the conversation with you at the dining room table, is he also expressing any feelings towards Tanya?
Oh, that's all he talked about. He was like obsessed over her.
He was what?
He was like obsessed over her.
What was he saying?
Oh, I love her and she don't love me. And we said, well, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
Is this the same conversation where he's telling you that she's messing with the boys?
Yes. And I said, I don't believe that. I said, the reason why is because she was the only one I could trust to take my 3 little granddaughters to watch after what they went through. She was the only person I could trust, and she was wonderful with them. And my granddaughters was happy with her.
Did you question his statements to you about loving her and wanting her back and wanting to be with her?
No. No. It was all about him, I think.
Were there times when you did other things with John, such as hunting, fishing?
Never.
Bingo.
I've never fished with him, and I've never hunted with him because I fish, but I don't hunt. So, no.
Do you know
I've
if
never invited him for a holiday dinner. Never. So, but I'm the type of person, if you come to my house and we're eating something, and if you're hungry, come on in, because we always got extra, no matter who you are.
all right, we'll get to Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
In a minute. So I'm going to briefly go back to the conversation at the dining room table.
Okay.
Is John saying that anything about custody of the boys at this time?
No, he just said he was taking matters into his own hand. We told him, you're being dumb. You need to call the authority because they will be there. I know from experience.
And
So.
and then you said he got mad and left the
Yep.
house.
He wasn't there much longer, and out the door he went. We never heard back from him again.
I'm going to fast forward to Thanksgiving Day 2010.
Okay.
Do you recall what you did on Thanksgiving Day?
Made dinner like I do every year.
And I believe you already testified. I just want to make sure I'm clear. You didn't have any plans for John to come over that
Nope.
Thanksgiving?
I've never invited him for dinner my whole life.
Okay.
Never. So, guess I'm the mean aunt.
Do you know if anybody else, Lisa or Brian, had invited him over for Thanksgiving
No,
dinner?
they did.
Friday morning, November 26th. Do you recall that day?
I sure do. And I got the phone call from Chief Weeks.
Tell me about it.
I was early in the morning and he called me to see if the boys was there. Because he knew they'd come out and play. And I said, what boys? And he said, the Skelton boys. I said, no. I said, why? He said, because they're missing. I said, oh my God. And a couple of days later, my husband, he had bad health. And he got put in the hospital. And he heard about it from laying in the hospital bed. So he released himself out of the hospital when they were searching. When my son had him searching for the boys around their property and everywhere. And that's how he heard about it, because I didn't tell him. He was too sick.
When you say on your property, were you searching on your property for the boys?
No, I was trying to get my husband maintained after he took himself out of the hospital, but
Okay.
everybody was around searching.
Okay.
You know, behind us, 80 acres that I don't own, behind us and across the road. And I just said, look wherever you got to look. I'll help in any way I can. I said that from day one. I still will to this day.
You said there's about 80 acres behind your house?
us, yes.
Okay. And is that, what kind of landscape is that, terrain is that?
It's kind of wet back in the one section, I guess. They call it a swamp area, but I don't ever go back there, so. I mean, some parts are nice. You can actually walk to the neighbors through the woods, but I don't go back there.
And then there's also woods back there.
Correct.
Were you home at 6:45 to 7:30 a.m. Friday morning, the 26th?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall anything about that morning?
No,
At
the
that
only
period?
thing, my son said there was a bag on his porch and I didn't even know anybody was there.
Do you
So-
recall approximately when, so when you say your son, are you talking about Brian?
Yes.
Do you know when Brian came to you and indicated there was
I
a,
don't remember exact
Yeah.
time.
okay.
But
Did he
then I
get,
called the authority and they came out to his house and they collected the bag
and were you
and
there?
opened it up.
Were you
I
there?
was standing out in the yard, yes.
Okay, what do you recall the contents of that bag being?
As soon as I opened it, I seen 3 little coats.
Did you recognize the coats?
I thought I did, but I wasn't 100% sure, but I only knew 3 little boys that had 3 little coats like that and it was cold.
What 3 little boys did it make you think of?
Andrew, Alex, and Tanner.
What else do you remember seeing in the bag?
I thought I seen a couple toothbrushes in there, but I'm not positive because I didn't like dig in the bag.
Do you remember anything else?
No, I didn't even want to look in there. Because when I found out the kids was missing, it broke my heart because we love them boys.
Prior to finding out they were missing, did that discovery of that bag concern you at all?
Well, I didn't know nothing about it till all that happened. It happened so fast.
Okay,
I
so you
mean,
find,
and I didn't even know he went to Lisa's, or if I didn't know. The kids found a container of Christmas stuff that was broke and a sled, which I believe was Tanya's, and it's still hanging in my barn. And I kept telling them to take it to her. They never did. It's still hanging out there. I didn't do nothing with it because it wasn't mine.
was that on the porch?
No, that
The
was on
same
our
morning?
barn.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
wasn't left Friday morning. That's something
I don't
completely
know when
different.
it was left. I didn't even know it was out there. The
Okay.
kids are nosy, they dig in
Okay.
everything and they're not supposed to be. Hey, look, Grandma. I'm like,
Okay. Do you remember a cardboard box being left on Brian's porch
I don't remember a cardboard box.
or left at Lisa's house?
Yeah, when I talked to her and she said that John had left stuff at her house. So I called the police department again and I told them, that she had this stuff. And I said, do you want me to bring it up? And Lisa said, yeah. So I went to Lisa's, got it, took it up there, and there was stuff in the box. I think a few pictures. I don't remember. It's been so long.
Okay.
But I took it to the police department
So,
because I was trying to help in any way I could.
so the police department came out to get the duffel bag.
Yes.
And then
I
later
took
you
the-
learned that Lisa had some
Yes,
items that,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
And you took those to the,
I delivered them to the Morenci Police Department.
did you look, was it a box, a bag? What did you take?
I just took a box
Do you
With
remember
the
what was in the box?
recorder, and I really don't remember what was in there.
Do you remember if there
I heard
was,
there was horrible pictures and stuff like that, but I didn't.
you
look.
didn't see for yourself, right?
No,
Do you remember a box of photos?
I remember pictures, yes.
Okay, not necessarily in a box or anything.
No, but I remember some pictures, yeah.
Did you remember a box of recipe books?
I can't remember them. I mean, I didn't search in the boxes. I was just trying to do whatever I could to help.
After Friday, the 26th, did you have an opportunity to talk to John again?
No, I never talked to him after that day. He sat at my table.
You didn't talk to him while he was lodged at the jail in Lucas County?
Absolutely not.
You didn't talk to him while he was in the hospital
Nope,
in Ohio? Okay.
Nope.
And you haven't talked to him since he's been in Lenawee?
nope, and I hope I never have to. Because he ruined my life, my kid's life, my grandkid's life, and we didn't do anything. It wasn't fair.
Okay,
Still live that.
okay.
Enough's enough.
When you heard that the boys were missing on that Friday, did you contact any family in Florida to see if they had the boys?
No, I did not. Because I didn't trust them in the family anyway.
When you went to the Morenci Police Department to drop off those items,
Mhm.
can you tell me who went with you?
I went by myself.
Okay.
I was alone. I called them first. And they knew I was coming up there. There was a ton of people in there.
Do you recall if your husband spoke to John while he was either in the Lucas County Jail or in the hospital in
was-
Ohio?
He was going down to, I believe it was St. B's, that's where he was, no jail. And the reason why, and I went, my daughter-in-law, my son, we went with them. And the only reason why we went is because he kept telling them to, if you come down here, I'll tell you where the boys are. So we went, but my husband never got a chance to talk to him because when we got there, everybody come in and that was the end of that.
Okay.
So we never talked to him.
Did your husband, to the best of your knowledge, ever receive any phone calls while you were present from John Skelton?
No, but I received a phone call while he was in there
Okay,
because he told some guy, and the authorities checked it out. It was a guy that was in there. He told this guy where we lived, who he was, what we drove, and I was scared to death because my husband at that time was in the hospital. So a couple of the FBI agents came to my home. One was in my living room, one stayed back in my back bedroom because I was scared to be alone because he kept saying, well, I'm coming out there because John wants me to tell you where these kids are. And I was scared. I didn't want to be by myself. I didn't know. So they actually stayed with me till morning.
all right. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
You discussed, or you testified that about the discussion at the dining room table where John had talked to you about his concerns and you told him to call Chief Weeks because
I
of
just
what
said, call
your,
the authorities.
okay. And I believe you testified that something similar had happened in your family, so you kind of had experience with that. Is that correct? I don't want you to get into detail. Just tell me if that was correct.
Correct. My
Okay.
granddaughters.
But at that point in time, had that case been investigated already and gone, where was
Yes.
that at?
That was, by that, I had the kids. They got taken away, of course, because they were molested.
Okay.
And I got custody of my husband. I had the kids.
Okay.
And Brian fought tooth and nail and everything he had to do to get his kids back, and he did.
Okay.
Emily, she was 3 years old. He got custody of all his kids.
Do you remember what year that was in?
Oh, gosh. Well, let's see. She was 3. She's gonna be 23. Her and Andrew was right there in age. I don't remember exactly what year.
Okay. Did you relay that to John that
He
were-
knew,
he-
Tanya knew. I mean, they all knew and they felt terrible about it. Who could do that to a child?
I guess let me clarify the question. Did you convey that to John that you had reported this to the authorities and that they had investigated it and this was, it had been taken care of?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely,
I have nothing further. Thank you.
absolutely.
Judge, we approach briefly. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Okay,
I'm not going to be very long. I just want to get a few points out. Can you tell us about the conversation? Was at the dining room table?
yes. I only
Okay.
have one dining room table.
Do you remember the date, ballpark? How long before
It was
Thanksgiving?
like,
might have been?
maybe a week, not even a full week before Thanksgiving. It was in a week's time frame,
Okay.
yes.
And what were it, to the best of your knowledge? That was a while ago. What was the
Yeah.
contents? He was upset about Tanya?
Yeah, he was getting a rage about her and he had quit his job and just ranting and raving
What was he ranting and raving? Do you remember any specifics?
because Tanya didn't want him and this and that and get over it.
So it was like his feelings were hurt, kind of
I
childish.
get very childish.
Yeah.
yes.
Were the kids around when this was happening?
Absolutely not. I'd never discuss nothing in front of a child.
Did you see him with his children interact at all?
Yeah, when they used to come out and we'd have a cookout
And
and
you have
everything was fine.
children and grandchildren of your own, correct?
I got 12 great grandbabies, 20 grandkids, yes.
So it'd be fair to say you know a lot about parenting.
I guess I do.
What was it like seeing John, his children? Was it a loving relationship?
Yeah, I never seen any problem. I never seen either one of them mean to their kids or anything. I mean, they were just good, loving little kids, well mannered. And they loved coming out to our house to play because they could get away with more stuff.
Did the kids seem to love their father?
Yeah, I think they loved everybody they met. And that's the kind of kids they were.
Did John seem to love them?
Yeah.
You said you were upset the first time he took the kids to Florida. Is that correct?
Yes, I was.
So what? How did it all come about? Can you explain that to me? How it even came to your attention?
Well, I heard it through a couple people that I seen it on the news, and I heard his sister was involved in it, which don't surprise me. And that's how I heard about it.
Who is John's sister?
Lucinda.
And did you say you heard Lucinda was involved in taking the kids to Florida?
No, I've always thought from day one. Well, yeah, she was involved in taking the kids. That was all said.
Well, what did you think from day one? What do you mean by that, man?
That she helped John get the kids and go to Florida without Tanya's knowledge.
And what made you think that?
It was all over the news and everywhere
About Lucinda?
about him taking the kids.
Okay, but where did the Lucinda commentary come from?
Well, I didn't really talk to her much because
Okay.
any word out of her mouth was a lie.
Okay.
So,
Because you testified a second ago that you thought Lucinda was involved from day one. Is that correct?
yeah, I feel that till this day today. And I'll tell you why
Please.
I feel this way about them. Because the one day they thought they had a sighting of the boys, I believe in Prattsville, somewhere up there, off of Hudson, Michigan. And my husband and I was sitting there and it came across the news that they thought they had a sighting of the boys. So I said, should we call your sister? And he goes, yeah, but put it on speaker and don't tell her I'm sitting beside you. I want to know what she's got to say. So I called, put it on speaker, and I said, hey, and she goes, what's up? And I said, they think they got a spotting of your boys. And I think it was Pittsburgh. I might be mistaken, I have to look. And she's like, it ain't them. And right then I said, well, I don't want to use the word, but it starts with the B. They know more than what they're saying. And I felt that from day one, and I'll never change my feelings on that.
And when, do you remember the time frame that was, the year or anything?
Well, it wasn't too long when the boys were missing, everybody was searching for them.
So after 2010,
Yes, when they were missing.
it came across the news that there might have been a sight of the boys in
Yes,
Pittsburgh.
Yes. And if you look it up, you'll probably find it, and I'm right.
Did you talk to, I'm not questioning, man.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get a time frame.
Okay.
Talk to the police a lot during this investigation?
Anytime they wanted to talk to me, I was there to help. in any
How
way.
often was that?
I don't know, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, maybe every 3 months. Whenever they wanted to talk to me, I talked to them.
Have you
I had
talked to them
nothing to hide.
recently?
Pardon?
Have you talked to them recently?
No. Any police? No.
When's the last time you think you talked to the police?
Well, I think last time I talked to the police is probably when he got sentenced for 15 years. So probably 15 years.
Nothing further, thank you.
Nothing further with this witness. Your Honor.
They should be excused.
No
Yes, Your
objection,
Honor.
Judge.
And we may leave the courthouse or stay here in the courtroom if you wish. It's up to you.
Okay, well,
You're
thank you.
welcome to step down.
Thank you very much.
You may call your next witness.
Those are the two we had scheduled for today, Your Honor, that we talked about this morning.
We have exhausted our witnesses for today. The prosecutor has attempted to put as many in a day as they think they can reasonably accommodate. We can't always guarantee, especially with cross-examination and direct. Sometimes it comes to places we don't anticipate having to go. So we don't always, as practitioners, know how long time it will take. And so we run out of folks for today that are subpoenaed. We will convene again tomorrow morning at 10:30. And we'll see you all then.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Mark.
Pardon?
Say that your work.
Yeah.
I should have CC'd you on these while I was emailing them because he was responding to every single one. All of us? All right. Let's talk.
All rise, please. Thank you.
Okay, so we did have a short day, but we did have two sessions, right? The lunch break in between. They had several witnesses attend. They did not have a full complement to fill out the whole 8-hour day, but they did get the witnesses that they had available on the witness stand, and we will proceed till tomorrow. It will continue this hearing of evidentiary hearing for John Skelton, allegedly unaliving his 3 boys and the other charges that they have regarding tampering with evidence. So with that said, I want to thank you all for attending today. Much appreciated. And I'll be streaming again tomorrow morning. And we will see what the forensics experts have to say. That's my hope and prayer. Okay, thanks, y'all. See you on the next one.